Welcome back to Next Stage Podcast, everybody. We got our first real virtual interview all the way down from Florida. And this is the band, two members of the band Tanned. We got Pete and Taylor here, and they're going to be filling us in on what's going on with Tanned, how, the whole situation's been going with being a band in quarantine, I guess, is sort of maybe where we can start. What's it been like having to go through this whole situation while being a live band? I mean, how much have you been able to do?
You have to adapt it to the times, baby. That's all you can, right? But it's strange. I mean, we had, at the beginning of this thing, I think it was pretty much immediately, probably at least 20 gigs.
Yeah.
Canceled.
It was terrifying.
Because we had a big month of stuff planned or whatever. So yeah, it's crazy,
We really had more than a month. We had a big year.
We had a big year planned, but there was a bunch of stuff in those first 2 months that got canned pretty much out the gate. You know what I mean?
We actually it was really upsetting because when it all happened, when COVID really took the launch into, March, we were in Key West. We had a string of gigs for a week in Key West. Right. We had about 6 or 7 gigs lined up over the course of 5 days. And
we went all the way to Key West and played one show and 5 gigs canceled. Had to come all the way back.
All of them canceled except for one. That one was really fun, but if you've ever been down there, Duval Street is always lit up.
Pumping.
And you walk outside and it just turned to dead. They had the city meeting.
It's like a ghost town, man.
Yeah.
It was weird.
It was terrifying.
Yeah. And everything was all the bars were ordered to close on St. Patrick's Day at 5 p.m. So everybody was out during the day, and there's a weird energy, but then it was everything was shutting down. It was funny, but
yeah.
So you guys were down there to be playing a string of shows that all just got canceled. And what did you think at that time where you're like, oh, this will just blow over, or this is it from now on?
I think we kind of knew that this was coming, and we didn't know when shit was going to shut down. I think everybody kind of did a little bit, right? But the stuff wasn't canceled yet. So we were just well, we'll just go and play. We don't know,
Well, yeah, at that point in time, anywhere in the Keys was a spreading of viruses. There wasn't any spread of viruses. It was really low numbers.
This was early.
This
was right before everything. It was right when everything was getting shut down.
So we took the risk knowing it could get shut down, but let's go for it. This is a lot of shows, and gone. And everything got shut down.
But to answer your original question, with as far as what we've been doing, when everything canceled and everything stopped, I don't think we played for probably a couple months at first.
Yeah,
there was probably 2 months off.
It was a 60-day lapse in gigs.
Nobody wanted to get together and stuff like that.
I don't even think we practiced.
Yeah.
I think we all went into our individual quarantines because we came back from Key West.
Right.
There was this risk that maybe we, caught something or whatever. So it was probably 60 days. And then we decided.
And we've been streaming from here. So that's the real thing that saved us, I think, It's kind of felt like we still had an outlet to play,
Yeah.
Which was cool.
Yeah, we've been really blessed because we have a space where we can play. It's a studio space here in Boca, Florida, Boca Raton. And we've got all this gear set up to be able to broadcast live streams. So it's our practice space became our venue to play live music.
Yeah, it was nice.
So it clicked. We all talked, said, we want to do this. Let's be safe. Everyone come in wearing masks. And it just progressed to being able to get on, all the links on Facebook and do Facebook Live, YouTube Live. And I think we did Twitch one of the times.
Yeah, I don't know.
And just stream.
I don't know anything about that stuff.
Yeah, I know. We just got to show up and play. We let our buddy Daryl take care of all the technicalities. But our keyboard player, he's real savvy on all that. But it's been a great outlet to have that and still be able to reach people and connect in community.
Well, yeah. So it was 2 months that you said you guys hadn't got together to jam. It was
probably close to that. I'm thinking it was March. I don't think we got back together to play until
maybe late May.
Until maybe May. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have to. Oh, you know what? The first one was on Cinco de Mayo, so
that's right, Cinco de Mayo. Okay.
So it was probably a month and a half, maybe a little
6
bit
weeks.
over a month.
Yeah, we'll round it up to 2 months. It feels like that.
Yeah, 6 months.
Might as well be in music terms.
Yeah,
Right.
It felt like 10 years.
So what was the like sort of inspiration to get back together? Did you guys like were texting each other like this sucks, let's do something? Like what made you want to like get back into the, jamming again, playing again?
I think just the urge to want to play, you know what I mean? I guess more than anything. And just feeling like, some of us are more concerned with safety and stuff like that than others, you know what I mean? And we're all respecting of each other. And so I think there was a period in time where we were, some of us didn't know whether it was safe. And then it was when everybody was feeling comfortable. That was kind of,
And how many people are in the band?
Quarantined and like not spending time around people and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like we knew the risks were low.
Yeah, and we're not, and at that point, not encouraging masses of people to gather. It's you could stream virtually. Together, right? Yeah, so everyone could be a part of it. And you said how many people? There's 4 of us. So it's Taylor's on guitar and lead vocals, on bass and background vocals. And Daryl's on keys, and Ali is on drums.
You guys are only a 4-piece?
Yeah.
Man, listening to the recordings, it sounds like more than that. It's a full sound.
Mission success.
Yeah.
We do our best to create layers, and have that dynamic. We I guess pride ourselves on having a really big sound for being a 4-piece.
That and certainly comes across.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you.
Yeah.
Ollie's like 6 people and 1 drummer too.
Yeah.
So.
He gets wild back there, so it helps.
He's got 10 legs. And he doubles with all of them.
Yeah.
So like what would you call your guys' music? Because I don't want to put a label on it. I know sometimes there's things that pop into mind and maybe the band themselves wouldn't, ascribe to that label or genre, but like is there a label? Is there a genre? Like what can people expect from?
Well, I'm curious what you would call us then. Now that you bring that up, I'm curious what you would say.
Well, right off the bat, I got the jam, band vibe, but like that's such a kind of nonsense blanket term that gets applied to so many bands that it doesn't really apply to anything. Then like, okay, there's a lot of cool instrumentation going on in here, and there's certain things that people say, oh, that's jam band, but the what that covers is so ridiculous. I mean, if you listen to the first Spin Doctors album, like they were a jam band in ways, and the Killer one at that.
Right, right. So it's such a broad range. I mean, I think that almost describes the scene more than it describes the music sometimes. You know what I mean? Just like the type of gatherings of people, you know what I mean? Or whatever this band could fit into at a festival. But I think the term jam band also sometimes can turn people off, or like you said, like it makes people think it's like a certain thing, like it is just like this, and they're not going to be open to it. Right. So I would say rock band first, you know what I mean? But I think we're all like, our influences, what overlaps the most is rock and roll, that we're all like kind of classic rock foundation.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Classic rock, heavy metal, that sort of stuff. Ollie, more metal guy, but
I hear that hard edge in there in some of those songs. Yeah. Like, okay. They're hitting it hard here.
He's like, he's a metal drummer at heart for sure. Heavy hitting metal drummer, so, and he's done some like really cool stuff. I mean, he's drum tech for all kinds of, like heavy metal. Dio, he was Dio's drum tech for a while back in the day, bro. He and then he's played with all kinds of people too. He was Ice-T's. He played in Body Count for like a month stint, and so it's like him and Ice-T and all the voice. So it's he's done a lot of really cool stuff. So
it brings a really awesome element to the rhythm section. Like totally. as a bassist playing with him, the first time him and I jammed. Him and I have had a couple little like side projects here and there, but the first like stripped down jam session that we all had together, it was Taylor, myself, and Ali. Right? Yeah. And we called it APT for a jam, another power trio or Ali.
A power trio or something like that. I don't know.
Whatever we were going for. But just to strip down 3-person jam, I got to really feel all of his, just uniqueness as a drummer and how heavy it could be. And how good his ear was to melodies, totally. Really hearing the melody and the rhythm and being able to play with that, almost like playing harmonically on the drums, if that makes sense. And that really was this is the guy I want to jam with, and I feel like that is the the love to be able to play with each other makes it better for us as musicians or as a band. It makes it more cohesive, when you actually enjoy playing with your bandmates.
Yeah, and I was getting a sense in a lot of the songs that it's funny you mentioned locking with the drummer, but the bass melody was kind of like a lead part, like in a similar way as reggae is. Not that you guys don't have really like a reggae sound at all, but like the bass being a lead melody as it is in reggae, I was hearing a lot.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of like melodic bass lines for sure,
Yeah.
And sometimes there's a lot of those songs where you're kind of following the melody like almost completely, right? Like
there are
couple.
I think that way a lot, and it's sort of this back and forth of thinking melodically more than rhythmically.
Versus rhythmically, right?
Yeah, it's fun to do that.
Oh yeah, and as far as like writing, like
it sucks. This is awful.
Not fun at all.
As far as writing, like we were kind of talking before we went live here about you guys have the jam space now set up where you can record and stream and do those things. Do you write like as a band, or do people have songs they come in with, or is it like I've got a riff, let's work on that?
I mean,
I typically write kind of most of it beforehand and then bring it to them, and then we kind of work stuff out. But I usually have a skeleton, at least like chord structure, melody, sometimes like an idea for a bass line or something that should fit to it. You know what I mean? And then when everybody comes together, that's when it totally gets interpreted. Because I don't compose on paper or anything like that. I don't read music. And so I'm usually just sitting there with my guitar and a loop pedal or something like that, figuring out, just the general structure of it, or I have lyric idea or something like that, that I put to it. But we typically kind of just the best so far. We haven't been doing like much. We need something we need to do is start writing more as a group, which is going to come. That will come, what I mean? But right now, that's kind of where we're at. That's just been our.
Well, Taylor definitely went on a stint, and I think for any writer you could relate, where you have these periods of just high inspiration.
Right.
And he brought, it was like every week I got two more songs. And he would bring, the skeletal structure of the song, and then we'd play it for a month, and then we'd revisit it and say, you know what, these parts need to be tweaked.
Right. And we're still doing that. Yeah, we're still doing that all the time.
We were doing that right before this interview. Yeah. We were tweaking, trying to work on harmonies and change parts a little bit. So I think that's just part of the process of songs, especially when you play them live. You see what lands with the audience. You see what lands with the band. How did we do that? How well did we play that? Or was it conflicting?
Was it grooving right?
Yeah.
Or did it feel key? You know what I mean?
We're constantly revisiting stuff.
Yeah. So.
So you mentioned about audience reaction. Now, a thing I picked up on in your music was very as you said, groovy, and like a dance feel. Like it felt like music that makes you want to dance. Is that like how audiences respond to it? Because I would imagine so.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, we're definitely looking for that. We want the people to feel as connected to the music as we feel connected to the music.
Yeah.
So we want it's definitely as you are a musician, when you see the people that you're playing to really getting into it and dancing to it, then it's like, yeah, we're on to something. I don't think that's our main driving force as musicians, but
yeah, right. But it's definitely there. I mean, I think if it doesn't groove, it probably shouldn't really have a place in the set, almost like that. So if it's not grooving right, you know what I mean? But I don't know.
But yeah, you guys seem like a momentum type band where like once you light the fuse, it's just going and you better hang on.
Yeah. Totally.
We've done that on accident too, in sound checks too, where we'll hear something and all of a sudden it's like 20 minutes just went by. I think
it's probably if you listen to that Spotify recording, that happened on the show that we released from Third and Third. That sound check wasn't planned. It just like happened. We just started the show like that.
So case in point, yeah.
But I don't know.
So like the momentum of when you guys just like lock in just sometimes takes you on that.
Yeah, for sure.
You got to ride the energy wave, more or less.
And I think that's kind of how we all have a tendency to play too. We're, rocking and pushing energy. That's kind of like something we all have in common, But it is cool because, going back to asking like what we are, I think overall, although we do have a lot of similarities, we all are very different too. You know what I mean? And our backgrounds and how we play and whatnot. So there is like kind of a nice little melting pot that's like, I guess, can be hard to describe, which is nice. That's what it makes it unique, right? So
yeah, and we're all, like, dare I say, just from different areas.
Right,
you know?
right, sure, yeah, exactly.
Some,
so you get
some
a
different
lot of
backgrounds.
Yeah, exactly. It's cool.
And to come together and really play. I think, I like to think that our music, our sound is unique. It's sort of separate, so to put it in a specific genre, like we've been talking about, is a little difficult, but jam band is definitely aspect because we have so many improv segments, but to say it's like, well, it's that specific type of classic rock sound is impossible, or it's that reggae. It just doesn't
because
work.
There's a lot of,
yeah, like if somebody told me, oh, here's this cool rock jam band, and I listened to you guys, I wouldn't be confused by the label, but I'd also be like, this is more than that. So maybe like as an entry point, like that gives somebody like a relative realm of what to expect, but I think it's a lot more than that. I got a strong groove, dance, power, momentum sense is what I took from it.
Cool. Nice.
Yeah.
So as
we're going for.
Yeah, well, you're doing it well. And I like that internet song. You know what I liked about it? Because the title of the song is like repeated often in it. And like, that's one of those like pop songwriting tricks. If you have a title and then you repeat that name, there's a word that's the title in the song, it's like makes it more of like hit quality. But I'm like, that song was doing that for me. And good social commentary too.
Yeah, for sure. At this point now, I'm like the internet, and I'm going crazy hearing it over and over again. So I have to sing.
Yeah, it's on the internet.
Well, you've got some humor in your writing style. I can tell that.
Yeah, for sure. I think, and I think that's honest in our expression too, because we're all like joking around, having a good time for the most time, not trying not to take life too seriously, even though we totally do sometimes.
Oh yeah, there's.
But,
Well, yeah, you have to if you want to get anything done, but.
Yeah, for sure.
True.
Exactly. Right.
So as far as where you guys are at now with the band and obviously the continuation of our restrictions and all that, like what do you see as maybe the future for your band, or maybe even rolling into that, music and bands in general? Like, is the streaming thing like the future, or is that just kind of like a good enough fill in for now?
I don't know. It's hard to. Hopefully, it's not the future, because I think it is kind of just it feels like more of just a good enough fill in for now. Because it's awesome. It's like great to stream, but when you like get done streaming, you get done with a song, and then it's like dead silent.
Crickets.
It's just like,
hope you guys like that song. Quick, look at the comments. Yeah, exactly.
Get all those hand claps.
You start clapping for yourself, talking to yourself.
Don't want to seem too egotistical, but
you got to get an applause track, like one of those things they have for like laugh tracks on sitcoms.
We could have Daryl program it into his synth
or
his Nord.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
But we actually, I think it's just over a week ago now, we've been able to play a live show. It was our first live show back. Which is awesome. It was a reduced capacity venue. And it felt great as far as I'm concerned. I think all the guys felt similar.
It was good.
Was it indoor, outdoor? What was it?
It was indoor.
Yeah, it was an indoor. I mean, they have an open front patio area.
So it's a little bit open air, but it's still indoor. You know what I mean? I wonder if it wasn't Florida, I don't know if shows like that would be happening. So
Florida takes a few more bold risks than most of the other states, which we've seen in the news, right?
Hey, Florida man comes from somewhere.
He does come from somewhere, man.
Blue Oyster Cult has a new song called Florida Man, actually.
I didn't know
Blue Oyster Cult has a new song. Did you catch that?
Yeah.
That
was shocking enough, dude.
I've seen them recently, but a year or two ago now.
Did you?
Yeah. I saw them I live in Pompano Beach, which is about 20 minutes south of where we are now, and they played a gig down there. And is it Robbie Krieger from The Doors?
Yeah.
Guitarist? Yeah, so he played, and then Blue Oyster Cult, and there was someone else I can't remember.
I remember that.
Nice. Yeah, I saw them at BB King's maybe like 15 years ago or something like that. I'm like, yeah, I'll go see them. Why not?
I mean, it's Blue Oyster Cult. How could you not?
Exactly. Don't fear the Reaper live. I'm burning for you. Those are killer songs.
Come on.
Got to do it.
Godzilla.
Yeah, go.
So when you guys got to like step on a stage again and like set up your gear and like play, like, what did that feel like? Like how much was that rush from having all that time off?
It was so good.
Yeah. It felt good.
Yeah. After the first song and you heard just, like, not to say that we're, like I said before, I'm not addicted to that or that's not the main motivation to play music.
Yeah, you say you're not addicted to
but
it.
sure act differently. But it felt good to be like, wow, I forgot how nice it was to actually play for people just to be connected with them, and just be a part of that. Like, cause we all, like we were talking about before, riding that energy wave, we all play a little bit differently when there's other people present. Obviously the way the energy is messaged, it's all energy, and so being able to pick up on that and then have that translated into our playing, it feels good. And it felt great to be on stage and to actually have a live show.
And what about like the nerves and like the anxiousness? Do you guys get that at all? Like, I know for myself, like that nervousness is almost part of it. And then you get to release that when you play, because it's like that. There's kind of an addictive quality to that feeling of like, oh, I'm freaked out if I suck. And then you're like, oh, and you get to like expel it. Did you get that?
Yeah, and you just go for it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's always there too. Even Daryl said he didn't get that nervous, and he got nervous before this gig because it's just, it's been that long. It's almost like it's as much excitement and nerves now. You know what I mean? Not that it wasn't exciting before, but it's just being separated from it. Distance makes the heart grow fonder or whatever. So it was cool, man. It was special. It was nice to be back, and it was 50% capacity, and they had it kind of spaced out a little bit, but it sold out. And everybody that was there, I felt just people were really grateful for live music, which made you feel good about being back out there and doing it. Because I didn't know if I was gonna feel weird encouraging gatherings or what, but people felt like they needed to get out. And
it's a very fine line between that, because we know there's the rightful thing to do that we have to protect people, but there's that like very strong human element for connection that we have, and music is like one of the oldest forms of that. Even before recorded history, there was like bone flutes and things we find. Like, music has been such a part of human community and connection that like going without it's really strange, and especially live when you see living human beings that if they went like that, it would all stop. Actually making it happen, it's very weird not to be able to do that and have that.
I know it is. Totally, man. Totally strange.
It was. I kind of related it to feeling like a bicycle. You don't forget how to ride a bike, but there's still that thought when you're going to climb on the bike, am I going to remember how to do this? And that's sort of felt on the stage. Like, are we going to be able to do this? And then we finished that first song, and it's like, yeah, okay, we could still do this. And then the rest of the show happens. It's history.
So now, are you guys going to have any more shows like that, or that's uncertain? Are you like looking at recording? Like, what do you do in the next few months or so?
We do actually have some stuff coming up. So, and I guess, it's on the books, but, dependent what we find out in cases and stuff could shut back down,
just like Key West,
Yeah, exactly. So, but we've booked some stuff. We've had some cool stuff happen to one of the venues around here that's kind of Old Staple announced a couple months ago that they were going to be shutting their doors because they just couldn't stay open. They actually announced that they're coming back and asked us to come do a residency that we're going to announce, I think, in the next couple of days. So we'll be doing like every other
I think
Tuesday.
You just did.
There you go. Right. That's right.
That just happened.
That's right. There you go. Official announcement.
Next Stage Podcast. Heard it first.
Podcast.
Oh man, we're breaking news.
Breaking news.
Well, awesome, man. I hope that stuff works out and that everyone's safe in doing that, and that can continue. We need that in our society and our lives. I think people really ache for that. And I guess I wanted to maybe if you can tell people like where they can find your music. Obviously, it's on Spotify, Bandcamp, things like that, or
Spotify, and like Apple Music and whatnot have like two like official releases or whatever. One of them's a show from February, and then one of them's just a little like live recording we didn't hear. But then our Bandcamp has a bunch of our shows from the first part of this year, and then some of last year as well.
Pretty extensive.
And then we are working on our first full length album, which we went and did drum tracks for in December. So we just kind of, because everybody was separated, it took some time off working on it, but we're back working hard on it now. So hopefully that should be out sometime early 2021, something like that, you know. So
and then also there's YouTube. There's
a bunch of stuff on YouTube. You can see like our streams and everything with a really nice remix audio as well. So it's cool.
And it's are they all just like Tanned Band, or like what are the handles?
Is Tanned the Band. I think it's Bandcamp / Tanned the Band, and then everything else, Spotify, Apple is all just Tanned.
Yeah. And that's TAND.
EAND.
Yeah, no E in there for the at the end. I was like first searching like tanned as if I got a tan. I'm like, oh, wrong one. What's the name mean? Anything or just?
Well, I don't know, man. What does it mean to you?
I clearly I thought it was about like getting a tan. Like you're Florida, maybe it's like tanned music.
There's that Florida connection. It might be a little mystery, but I think the biggest thing is the word found us, and it's kind of a punny, funny little word, and it's also got that Florida tanned like connection. You know what I mean? So it's like. Play on tanned, play on word band, you know. So.
Okay, I see that now. So I know you guys have band practice to get to, so I don't want to keep up all your night here. But I appreciate you, taking the time to do this and being our first official, live stream all the way from Florida. This is awesome. It's like really great to hear what's going on there and how you guys have been, dealing with this as musicians. It's not been easy, but a lot of people have it worse, so I guess we can't complain. But
I mean, we're all going through it together, right? So.
Mm-hmm. Any final words or things you want to impart to people about music or life, or just, I don't know, goofy thoughts?
I mean, it's as far as, I don't know, imparting, but it's definitely encouragement to stay safe. We're at a place where we are in Florida where the restrictions are being lifted and we're able to play live shows. So if you are finding yourself able to go to live shows, keep being safe, follow the rules, wear your mask, use the hand sanitizer. You know what I mean? There's a reason there's still restrictions in place. Obviously we all have a yearning for the connectivity, for the community, for the music that really brings us all together. But there's ways to do it in a safe manner. So we definitely want to encourage that, because we don't want to ruin the opportunity to keep doing it, because we love playing music as much as the audience loves listening to music, and vice versa. We also love listening to music. So we don't want to jeopardize that.
Very wise words. Yeah. It's like we get a little bit of a leeway, so let's not mess it up.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's it.
He also guys. He's really fond these days. He's been wearing women's underwear. It's a new thing.
Just in case you didn't know.
Just in case anybody else wanted to know. I don't know what he was wearing back when you guys were jamming, but now it's women's on.
The fact that you say women's underwear means you're not woke. I mean, it's just underwear,
Yeah. Not woke. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, on that note.
Those are the announcements from us.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Good stuff, guys. Like I said, thank you so much for doing this. I dig the music. I can't wait to see what's coming. You got the new album in the works. You said you started in December. That'll be coming out soon. I'll be checking that out when it's available. I'll be keeping track of what's going on. Everybody who's listening or watching, please check them out. Check out their various media, outlets that there are. And, I hope things go well and that you keep having these gigs on the books and that you don't get Key Wested again.
Key Wested, that's right.
New term coined. You heard it here first.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. We love you all, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.